This is the Baltimore Beast, Mason Martin, and you're listening to the 3 Count Podcast.
What in there, nut? An unbelievable weight that you might hate, but you can't even.
Dang, high pass, where'd you find that drag ball at? Now entering the ring, married to the business, hunter hearse hounds.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you on the summit of Mount Everest interviews. That's what I do, okay? I'm that guy. I'm your Sherpa for today. But it's never about me. It's always about who's entering the ring. And today we have a special guest for you. They are the gold standard of professional wrestling. You guys see him here. Casino Hayes, Richie Fingers, the men themselves of C3W.
What up? Three-pod count cast, friends and family. What's happening?
What's up? Thank you for coming on the show. I'm so excited about this because we've had you guys individually on the show and you guys are like, past interviews, but this is the first time that we really just going to harp more into about C3W. So I'm hyped about this, and all I need to know, we got to start this off like, what is C3W? Let's talk about that.
Best wrestler in the world.
It's the fastest growing professional wrestling league on this little small planet we call Earth. It's the like you said, the new gold standard in professional wrestling, the hardest working men in show business, and a team that's second to none. Right. So I mean, just to sum it up in a nutshell, but we are a professional wrestling league based out of Washington, D.C. We utilize talent from around the globe. We're looking for top world-class talent. No matter what part of this planet Earth you're on, we'll fly you in and shoot with us, or figure out a way if your work ethic is right, if you take pride in your temple, which is your body and your character, etc. Drop a note. We'll fly you out, and we'll figure out a way to get you on, make you become part of the C3W family.
Bet. I like it. I like it a lot. It's one of those things because, like, I know I've worked for you guys a couple times actually now, and it's like you said, it legitimately feels like a family. So I sit in the locker room, get to talk with people, and just kind of BS about all the stuff that's going on. It's actually really fun. And then you guys are readily available too, so we get to talk with y'all about everything too.
Oh yeah,
man. Out here at the compound right now.
That's
10,000 feet or 10,000. How many acres is the case about?
We have a little under 40 acres, but we cleaning out 10,000. I'll tell you, turn my camera around.
Yeah, so
right, this area right here is going to be a 10,000 square foot pavilion, mixed use for wrestling events, concerts, festivals, things of that nature. But we're in the final stages. It's been raining, every other day up until probably this week. So our heavy machines got stuck out here. So now it's dried up. We're gonna come and clear the rest of this stuff off and drop the asphalt, concrete, etc. So we working. We spending a lot of time, money, and energy on our property, on our facilities. That's why we're looking for everybody, everybody on the team to do what they're supposed to do, and we can make this thing work.
Right. And it's funny because you guys talk about the compound, which is something that's been relatively new, because I know you guys have usually gone out of like different facilities or like just, like different, areas. So it's kind of cool that you guys are going to have like a home base kind of center where people can come to an event versus like you guys obviously traveling out to those events. So
exactly. Right. Yeah. And we had to move with the nature of times now with the COVID stuff. Everybody want a little space, a little breathing room. All our shows, all our indoor shows, every show we had sold out. So I personally don't want to in a warehouse with 750 fans right now.
Breathing all down your back.
I'd rather spread it out over
no mask.
Yeah, over a certain amount of acreage and let everybody feel comfortable, but we still still have fun. By us being outside, we can add a lot more features. We can have different, we're gonna have like seafood night where we have crab free, just a lot of different things we can do outdoors that we couldn't do inside, creatively and logistically.
Right. Yeah, because we've talked about some of the plans, and we're not gonna put those out there, but we talked about some of the stuff that's behind the scenes that like that you guys are playing. And I'm excited because I just can't wait to see like the whole everything you put together. I would say the whole ball, but that makes sense.
Wait
Whole
to
pie.
see the command center though.
Yeah, just because we on our family's podcast 3 Count, we're gonna give you guys a sneak peek of some of the stuff that's going on. So as I'm walking to what is our command center, it's not under construction, but it's kind of see what's going on now. You can see the C3W F350 over there. Let's see. This command center. I don't know if you guys saw it before, but now most of the paint is almost done. Here's the flooring here. The guy just came in. I keep over here is going to be 4 50-inch screens for when we edit the videos and so forth. Back here, over here, another screen, getting wired for computers, Wi-Fi, state-of-the-art lighting system. You guys, for podcasts, etc. Lighting out here, speakers and so forth. A new awning. Of course, it's going to be wrapped with the C3W stuff. Let's see. Well, that's a quick little, without going too deep. But we will, once the podcast center is open inside the command center, we're going to have you guys, if you guys want to broadcast live from there, doing some of the matches and so forth, you're always welcome.
Oh man, that's awesome. I know the guys would like really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you gotta tell him like that spot where he's standing at right there. They going 70 more to 100 feet up.
Oh yeah,
up in the woods, and 100 feet wide. So everything basically gonna be in the woods.
It's kind of fun because we're like seeing like the construction of like.
Yeah,
obviously like C3W is like well known like all through like the DC and in the Maryland area, as well as branching down to Virginia and going farther, especially with the internet and stuff like that. But it's just kind of fun to see like your guys' compound like get built from like the ground, and then you can actually see like the levels that you guys have thought processed going forward.
Exactly. Of course, we got outdoor, our outdoor porta potties. We're going to have a standard bathroom built out here. A grilling area. Like I said, it's going to be a family-friendly multi-use complex by the time it's done. More than just wrestling, but that it has a priority for our wrestling matches. But it's something if you wanted to have a family reunion or birthday party or etc., you can come out here and utilize the space as well. So that's some of the stuff we're bringing. Of course, we're still going to do small streaming shows at some of the Starlet Factory, Thunderdome, and a couple other places that we utilize. But most of those shows, they'll be like invite only, not really close, open to the public when we shoot indoors, at least for the rest of the year. We'll open up back indoors in 2022 and pick up on our Capital Combat Tour, pick up on some of those dates.
Awesome. So I'm just curious, like, what's been like one of the hardest things about being a promoter currently?
I mean, you just always got to think. You ask me, nothing really. Like, if you ask me, like, I'm not saying feel like this. Like only certain people are built for this. Like, bottom line, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people will fold just on the first negative dollar they see. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, this is too much or whatever. Like, you just gotta know you just gotta be built for the long haul with all this. You know what I'm saying? But mentally, and as much as you can financially. You know what I'm saying? That So I won't say nothing's hard, more so than you just always got to put the sweat equity just to try to keep putting 2 feet forward.
Right.
You got to be creative, man. You got to be able to move at the speed of business because if you can't pivot and still pick up momentum in one step, it'll be hard for you. Because like when this COVID shit hit, we had literally did our second date on our 27 tour. We were in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yep, Asheville.
Yeah, like on March 7th.
March 7th. Yep.
Sold out show. We had 25 other cities on lock, over 9,000 tickets pre-sold.
Our next show was solid.
And the world shut down. You know what I mean? So some people that have been detrimental. Some companies went out of business. We just looked at it like, okay, you know what? We're gonna focus more on streaming. We're gonna hit those markets later. We gave people an option to get refunds. Out of 9,000 tickets, I think we only gave maybe a little over 150 refunds. So when we come back to those, and we're not coming back until 2022, but that's how much people held on to their tickets, and because we didn't get any deposits back from any of the venues that we contracted with. So, but like I said, you just got to be built for this. And one thing about being rich, we not besides C3W, we are businessmen first. Like we own other businesses. We've been in the entertainment business for years. So it's always something's always going to happen. You just got to be prepared to keep it moving. Something always it's not going to ever go exactly how you have it. You just got to have contingency plans and just be ready to keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like that's just the nature of the beast. And as long as you have that mindset, and one main thing is don't stress the small shit. If it ain't gonna kill you, just keep it moving. We fix it and keep going. That's it. Don't sweat the small stuff, man.
No, like that's what's funny, man. Because like even for me, like I know our fans are gonna look at my picture and they're gonna be like, "It's all grainy." I was like, "Don't worry, the camera up above is like broken." So I just was like, you know what? I got time. I'm going to keep it moving.
Exactly. They're gonna still hear and they will get what valuable information they can get out of it and go from there. I mean, you got to keep it moving. The show must go on.
Yeah, and it's something that you guys have brought up, right? Is about like moving at the speed of business, right? Like COVID really kind of hampered like everything for me last year because I had just started training, and then like obviously May, going from March to May, like I wasn't able to do anything except for whatever kind of little workouts I was able to do because everything was just closed down. But even this podcast itself, man, like generated this whole show because of COVID, and we were able to like bring on people and talk to them, ask for advice, like things they were doing, things that they were going to help us like learn about the business and grow quickly, and we were able to like adjust. So that's why this show, like to me, has been like one of my favorite things to do. I mean, and the worst thing is like you have to prioritize like every little thing, and that's what you guys have been like talking about so much with me, like on the back end about like how to grow, because like I know like aside from doing like the 9 to 5, like I have like we all have kids, and then we all have like all this business side on the other that we are doing like our fantasy projects, right? So like this guy right here, like trying to drive and promote and grow and keep putting out content every single day. It's a lot. It's a lot to do.
But I can see it's working because from just in the short time, you guys have picked up a lot of steam. You guys have, I mean, just about everybody you've mentioned to us that you wanted to interview, you were able to get them, and you guys are booked up like crazy just over the next week or so. So your hard work is being noticed, and it's going to continue because a lot of the people that you're interviewing, and even though you like we stated earlier, you might have interviewed them a couple months ago. Their career is skyrocketing, and it's going to be an amplified, your interview and vice versa. And from what I'm hearing, you guys are like a good luck charm for AEW After Dark. Like if you interview with you guys, you might get a shot. You know what I mean? It's like they're watching your show and then picking talent from you guys. So you might have to let me negotiate some with AEW for y'all. We got to figure something out.
Got to sit at the table with Tony, man. We got a podcast.
I know it's true. Like, I mean, we low key, like we just didn't see it coming. And I remember like Chaz and I were talking on the back end, and he was like, "Hey man, like," he's like, "Hey, did you see such and such made on show?" I was like, yeah, we interviewed them like 3 weeks ago. And they're like, "What?" And then I was like, he saw the interview and he was like, "Wait, how many of these people do we have?" And this being, so full transparency for people out there, this is the 145th interview that we've done. And out of the 145, 20 now officially as of today, which would have been the 18th of May, 20 people have shown up on AEW Dark, and we're like,
that's crazy. That's like 14, almost 15%, man. That's
like,
not a coincidence.
That's like being like a hip hop blog, and after everybody you interview, all of them got signed by a record label.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's too much. 5% is a coincidence. Once you get to double digits, that means they're really watching you guys. So we got to figure something out.
Yeah. So there's a few other people that like we've interviewed that I'm like really pulling for to show up like on AEW Dark. But actually, it's been crazy too because like other people have commented. They're like, "I can't believe that you're like," just talking about me personally. They're like, "I can't believe like you would go out and contact all these guys and try to get them on your show." And I'm like, why not? I was like, worst case scenario, they say no, and best case scenario, they jump on with me. I was saying best case, they jump on with me afterwards, and they're like, hey, let's have another 30-minute conversation about wrestling to help you grow. And then like those discussions never go anywhere, which like previous to this, like we had like a 15-20 minute conversation, and then we started the interview. So like people get to see that part, and I'm like, that's like where all the fun parts come, but then everything else is
yeah. That's true.
They don't need to see how much of a fan I really am.
Analytical.
They be like, wait a minute, he really watches this stuff. Like, hold up.
So aside from like one of the hardest parts about being a promoter, I'm just curious, like what's been like one of the most fun parts about being a promoter though?
All this.
For me, it's being able to create create a concept or take a vision and then come up with a plan of action, implement it, and then start having like organic fans from across the globe. Like we have legit fans from South America because in Chile and places like that order merch and want to come up here. Like we're going to run a contest next time we bring up the South American sensations to bring up like 2 fans from Chile because we get a crazy response from people out there. So that's bear with me. Somebody keep calling my phone, but yeah, that for me, just touching people all around the world has been great. You know what I mean? It's been something that I never thought we would that fast, as fast as we have.
Right.
No, I will say what's fun for me, honestly, is just kind of like the way I think. I'm always thinking about the next of moving fast, but then sometimes like I kind of sit back and be like, dang, I remember when I was just talking about this thing. So that's the fun part, just kind of seeing the moving parts that's come along with it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, nobody can do none of this by themselves. So that's been the blessing for me, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like just being, especially and then like even going in business with people like a lot like I think like just going to business with Casey has been fun. You know what I'm saying? Like like we both kind of think the same as far as like up tomorrow, all right, bam, let's go. Up now, all right, in a minute. Like
and,
you know what I'm saying?
And it's a good yin yang.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I was a diehard wrestling fan growing up, but I don't watch wrestling right now unless I'm specifically looking for something because I don't want to take myself for what we're coming up with. Like I'm pulling something from what AEW or WWE's doing. I like to keep my vision crystal clear. Rich I call him a wrestling guru. You ask him a question about a champion from 1979 and their finishing move, he'll tell you. You know what I mean? Like he knows anything about. He's a wrestling guru. That's what makes us work so well together. And shout out to real quick, G Postal and Pharmacists too. Those 2 guys, man, they behind the scenes, man. They both of those guys outside of what they do for C3W, both of them you want to see them commentating different sports for different major not just wrestling, but like you want to see them a lot in the booth.
Yeah, you gonna see
they're 2 of the best. They're 2 of the best around at commentating and bringing to life action that you see in a ring, on a basketball court, what have you. So shout out to those guys. We all wear a lot of hats over here.
I'm in the commentary booth now, so
yeah. Yeah, all I do is we both drive the boat. We come up with the vision, and I talk a little shit, and I'm an asshole if I feel like you're trying to get over on our business. I'm probably
he's the real asshole, not me. It's like,
but I keep my hands clean. I make it look like it's rich. It's like,
I just take it.
But besides that, man, like I said, it's fun, man. We live in a dream. You know what I mean? Like I said,
like you can't ask nothing better.
The command center that you see behind us, literally, that's going to be our office. Like once it's done, it's going to be like we're going to be able to do all our business out of there every day. Like we come in every morning doing C3W business. Our interns, our employees, everybody's going to be there. So that's another reason for creating this hub. It's not a hobby, or it's not a we're about 800,000 in right now into this project, and we're gonna recoup every penny of it times 100. So everything we're doing is strategic. We look, we forming partnerships up around the country. we had to do that in order to set up the tour. So like I said, it's growing. It's a beautiful thing, man. And we able to meet. Like we'd never met Cliff. Guys like you that are genuinely good people, good family men, and y'all are part of the C3W family. You know what I mean? So not just as a talent, but also like I said, you got your own platform that we have the pleasure of helping you grow or doing whatever we can. You know what I mean? So it all works out.
Hey, look, shout out to Spaceman and Moot. You know what I'm saying? Out there,
Oh yeah,
Asheville.
Urban Combat Wrestling.
Hey, man.
Yeah, they're going to see this. It's a lot of good guys in this wrestling industry. And it's a lot of
There's a lot of assholes in the jump too.
But we keep it moving, man. One of our favorite sayings, moving at the speed of business, man. And also shout out to Vince McMahon. We handle a lot of certain situations the same way we feel he would handle it. Like when we hear a lot of we see everything.
WWVD.
Yeah, we see everything, good, bad, or ugly. And honestly, you have a better chance of Vince McMahon responding to you than I would. That's how focused we are, how much tunnel vision we have.
Tell him keep doing it. Keep doing it.
I will say this: if it gets to the point where I respond to you, it's not going to be how just Vince McMahon responds. It's going to be how Casino responds, and you won't like it. So, I'm just going to say that and leave it at that. If I respond to you, it ain't going to be me responding, and you're not going to like it. So, tread lightly. You know what I mean? So,
especially if you're local. Especially if you in the perimeter of the diamond, But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But see, like, and one thing too, man, I don't think we was able to touch on last time is our our foundation, which is the C3W Cares Foundation. And what we do is we help children of incarcerated parents. So kids whose parents are incarcerated, we help them out with school clothes, just small stuff like attending outings, going to wrestling events, going to movies, just anything that we take, the average kid take for granted because their parent is there. And we have a lot of people over the DC jail, in the federal system, in the Maryland State Correctional System, who kids we basically help out a lot. I mean, from school uniforms to even lunch money accounts. So without all the people behind the scenes on our foundation, man, we and that's one of the driving forces for what we do. Like part of everything we generate goes directly to that, and just to be able to help a kid who would literally have one school uniform, they have to wash, all week long, get 2 weeks worth of uniforms, little stuff like that is what make it all worth it. Yeah. Luckily, a few of them are back in school now 2 days a week with the hybrid learning, but come August, everybody's back, back in action. So we will be pushing out a lot on every event, everything we do, asking people to help out. Whether it's volunteer or sponsor a kid or anything like that, but it doesn't take as much as you think to help out a kid, man. And like I said, there's whatever their parents did wrong, the child shouldn't have to suffer. That's our motto. That's a void we need to fill that we think is really overlooked. And honestly, that them being overlooked is part of the reason we have a cycle of kids being incarcerated after their parents, because they go out trying to fill a void for material things that they don't have. And they break laws and do things, trying to obtain that. We want to keep them focused on school, get them scholarships, and have them separate that chain of incarceration, of mass incarceration.
Right. And that's something that I valued, because I know even in previous interviews we've talked about how you guys are always so big about giving back to the community and giving back to lower income housing districts, or just kind of whatever, through little things. You guys do pop-up shows where you ask guys to come in, and I know you guys talk about it costs you out of pocket, but at the end of the day, it's not really about the money side. It's about the smiles that you put on those people's faces, because they get to see wrestling talent up and close and personal. So that, to me, I was already vibing with that aspect, but also knowing that you guys are doing other things aside, it's something that I value, because I'm one of those guys too that I believe in a bigger mission. I don't like working for companies I don't like working for companies that are just and not just on the wrestling side, just in general. So if anybody ever looks at me, this is what I mean. I don't like working for companies that are just hey, this is we just believe in what we can do for the bottom number. Well, what are you doing to help people? It's just in general. We give them a job. I'm gonna find someone else to work. Like,
yeah, no, that's true. That's 100% true. Like we both coach, man. We both outside of wrestling and foundations, we both like literally, we both been basketball coaches. I've been a football coach. Like we believe in giving back. Both of our sons have played college basketball because we had them and trained them up and coming. Now they're older, you know, like this is something we've been doing for 20 plus years, giving back, mentoring young men. He will tell it just like I'll tell, like on most of the teams I have, it may be 2 fathers. You know what I'm saying? You got 12 basketball players or 15, it may be 2 dads. And the rest of them, you basically are dad. And you still you form lifelong relationships with these kids and you know, and good, bad, or ugly.
Right.
And that's something that, like I said, coaching you do for free. Everything that we're doing, I would do it for free. You know what I mean? Like because we've been blessed enough in our professional lives to be in a position where we can afford to spend our time and energy toward things that's going to help other people out. That's how you gotta, if you're blessed, you gotta reciprocate your blessing. You gotta recycle blessings. And that's, you know, if everybody do that, then it'll just, you know, one blessing or one person at a time, ultimately it'll be a better place, you know what I mean, than what it is out here, than what we got here, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's
preaching. What an organ at right now. I'm preaching right now.
I'm just keeping, I mean, but it's real, it's organic, it's real, it's no scripted shit. I didn't even, this wasn't even in our talking points, but it's real. Like that's what we do. You know what I mean? That's what's fueling it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean that's definitely in our DNA. Because I mean, even like for me, like, you know, like a lot of people know I play in church, play music in church, but you do that to uplift others. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just
every week,
that's our DNA. You know, every week, look in the pandemic. I still been playing, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm an accomplished musician. So, you know, like and being in that position.
Hold on. He's being modest. Grammy nominated. He's a Grammy, like we don't even say he's a Grammy nominated, or he has a Grammy nominated Grammy. He was nominated for a Grammy on his production side. We never, like he's never told anybody. I dug up some stuff and I realized you know this was nominated, and same way he been modest. I'm keeping it real. Like anything we speaking on, you can fact check it. He's a Grammy nominated accomplished musician on top of everything else. So you know what I mean? Like I said, but it's blessings. It's all blessings. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, I just like how like he's just like, yeah, you know, I play in the church, and then because he's a Grammy nominated. Like he's nominated for a Grammy. Like, what do you mean?
You'll never hear him say it.
Like, yeah, you know, I just do something. I tickle the ivory.
I mean, and the funny to see, even him saying that, see, a lot of people, they make that about themselves. You know what I'm saying? Where I just take stuff that I learned and just pass it down. You know what I'm saying? So, right. You know, you can't help it to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Casey I mean, he'll give you everything. Like, kids be like, hey, man, can I get that? Oh, here you go, shorty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be good like that.
I'm gonna tell you a short story, man. And I realized once it was a time when I was, I want to say fucked up, but I wasn't fucked up because I was working for a lobbyist firm. I was making probably 85, 90,000 a year, but I always had other businesses, and I would invest in myself, like 100%. Besides my kids, as long as my kids are straight, I would invest everything else in myself. And I was at a point where I just was in grind mode, like back to when I was on some street shit where, I mean, like almost wearing the same shoes, same like uniform basically. Every day I was on the grind. And I had one pair of foam posits, black, some tennis shoes that I wore the shit out of while I was grinding. I could have bought 100 pair at the time if I was selfish and just wanted to, but I went through a phase of about 6 months wearing these one pair of shoes. And then after that, after I stopped working for the lobbyist firm, I made probably 10 times as much money that I ever made in my life over the next 12 months. And since then, I literally probably every 2 months or 3 months, I give away trash bags of shoes. And I'm saying that to say that because I continue to give them, I mean, I'm talking about shoes I wore twice or 3 times, but because I give them away some way or another, God, like.
Didn't he give away some Yeezys? Like he gave away some Yeezys.
I mean, online, you know what I mean? But I'm saying I've been doing this for a long time, and it blessed kids. You know what I mean? It was a certain point in time where I used to go out a lot, and normally I would just wear shoes to go out to the club and probably spill some champagne on them and never wear them again. I swear. And like so, every so often I would just bag them up, give them out, and then since then, God has blessed me to be in a position where material items I've never had you know what I'm saying? It's not even a thought anymore. After that, but it's because I still to this day I give away. I wear it, do what I want to do, and then it's just something that's just giving back, man. Something you have in your closet, you'd be surprised how it would change somebody's whole confidence because they can't afford, whatever it may be, or something that all the other kids think is something nice. You know what I mean? But that's something that after me grinding that long, I'm talking about I wore them till they was to air bubble bust. But that's when I replaced it. And then I'm talking about when I was just in my grind mode. And then after that, I just got back focused. But no, I believe things like that. God bless those who like to bless us, man. I'm a firm believer in that. So we continue to do it.
I mean, the thing about, you gotta understand about C3W, we move by God. You feel what I'm saying? And see that's why all the I guess you can call them storms that have come our way. We're never phased by it. You know what I'm saying? It might, like you going down any little street and and the wind blow, the car might shake a little bit, but we straight. You know what I'm saying? We covered. So
But it was you believe in God, but you still carry a big stick. We both what we call the Second Amendment, card carrying.
Shout out to the Second Amendment.
But we card carrying holders that we concealed the carry in 40 states, and we license the carry, but what
would UGK just say?
Walks off the carry
shit in every way. That's why I carry my motherfucking gun every single day.
I still tie. You say believe in God, but you still tie your camel up because certain people, there's still people out here they moving right, and they might need a little guidance to get in the right direction. You know what I mean?
I was like, what was it? There was a line on the Patriot.
Rating them up a little bit.
Right, there was a line in the Patriot where the guy was talking about he was a preacher, right? And he had mentioned that he was like they're like pastor, and he was just like, well, sometimes he's like, you have to let the sheep do what they do, and then other times you have to defend them. And I was like,
you gotta defend them.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that Teddy Roosevelt quote though, like walk softly and carry a big stick. That's like one of my favorites.
That's it.
My dad dad passed that down to me, and that's like something I've carried
Unfortunately, man, everybody isn't on a righteous path at all times. They may get there, but they may not, depending on how far off they are. You know what I mean? They may not.
It might mean me to have to make you get back there. If you threaten me.
You know what I'm saying? But it's best just put us on what I call it the pay me no mind list. Just let us do what we're doing and pay us no mind. Just going about your way, and we're going about ours. You know what I mean? But
All right, so I gotta ask though, man. Like so you guys have your shows, right? You put on these big elaborate shows, and then afterwards, man, I'm sure you guys probably gotta grab something to eat. So I'm just curious, what's your post-show meal that you have to have?
Let him go first.
Normally post-show, man, we so tired. I'm keeping it real. It's whatever was catered or whatever's back there. It's some whatever, a little bit of a plate that was put to the side of whatever was back there. But when we have meetings, strategy meetings, our location is Mike's All American Grill. That's when we meet. Yeah. When we need to sit down and discuss something and break bread with the team.
Make a salmon or something,
Yeah, or not a drunken ribeye. That's what
the salmon or the drunken ribeye.
Yeah, that's. But after the shows, man, normally by the time we happen to get out of there, and you know what I mean. And keep moving.
Well, I'm weird because after our last one, I went straight to the gym. You just thought I was a wrestler. So I left. I was like,
hey, and that's what I'm gauging our new talent on. If you're not working out harder than Rich, you're not serious about wrestling.
Yeah, you ain't serious about wrestling. I'm 2 a day shorty in this. 2 a days, except for Fridays. I take off on Saturday and Sunday and right back at it during the week. And sometimes I might do Saturday and Sunday. I'm just saying, if you call yourself a wrestler, you know what I'm saying, or a sports entertainer, however you want to look at it, your body is a part of that. You understand what I'm saying? You just can't say, just because you know the craft of it, just because you know how to lock up and bump and do all that type of stuff. If your body, like I'm telling you, like he said, if you can't look like me, nah, If you can't, I'm telling you. I mean, like you said, like if you can't, I mean, if you're not in the gym, I mean, working on your body. I mean, because again, your body, like how we look putting you on camera, and you look like trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, be honest with yourself.
Yeah, that, you know what? Fun fact, man. Like, I looked at it was I don't want to say it was last year that I was looking at a couple of matches, and I was like, you know what? Like, I could tighten up a little bit more. And then I went in and started hitting the gym like really, really hard. And then like most recently I watched like my most previous match back, and we won't talk about that on the air. We'll talk about it after. But yeah, I was like, all right, bet. Now I'm getting to the point where I really want to get to. And it's taken a while to get there, but I was definitely I'm like, all right.
Tell. No, I mean, we can tell. You can tell that you've been working out. Like I like just by on the podcast. I haven't seen you in you know in person in a while, but you can tell that you've been working out. And that's the whole thing. Nobody's gonna overnight just become, you know, the Rock or some shit. But you just gotta at least whatever your body type is, you gotta help that out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you know, and your character as well, and so forth. But,
I mean, I tell people all day, you really get your character messing with the gym, because depending on how you lift, you know what I mean? Like, depending on the type of regimen or circuit you on, you know, like a lot of that type of training brings out the animal in you, where you kind of, just to get through the workout, you start coming up with phrases and stuff, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Oh, real quick, speaking of training, let me cut you off. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Sicken, man, one of the best in the land. One of my favorite, not one of my favorite trainer, and also the king of our Savage division. I gotta shout him out. Go ahead, y'all go ahead.
Nick, get in the gym, Nick. Go ahead.
Hey, haven't seen that man lately.
Yeah, Nick got. I see he got some guns a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Nick need that, man. Yeah,
Nick been doing. You can tell he been doing push-ups out there.
I gotta get him on some dead. Let's some hard bench press.
Notes on Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So those are kind of like all like my big hard hitting questions, but I do have to dive into the best segment of this podcast, which is the 3 Count Podcast 10 Count Questions. We have played this previously with you guys individually, but we are going to do this now, part of C3W. So we're going to put on an imaginary timer because I know you guys are always ready. That's what you guys talk about. Always say, here we go. First question right off the bat, SmackDown or Raw?
Damn.
SmackDown.
I'm gonna say SmackDown. Raw not bad though. Fuck. Let's say SmackDown right now. That's why I was like,
all
damn.
right. Favorite color?
Green.
I was gonna say green and black.
Okay. Sonic or Mario?
Mario.
Oh, that's hard. Ooh,
I'm OG of Mario, baby.
No, me too. But I ain't gonna lie. When I had to say that when the Sonic first hit, ooh, I ain't gonna lie. The graphics was like, yeah, that was a whole other
Nintendo guys.
Yeah,
Mario, baby.
All right. Favorite movie?
Goodfellas.
I don't even watch movies. Let me think. Nah, yes, I'm done. So
Goodfellas for me. That's
okay.
top
I mean,
three.
I can say the typical DC joint was, you know, Scarface. Like,
there we go. All right. Would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Cold.
Yeah, cold.
All right. So favorite cartoon?
Thundercats.
I'm afraid to say this. It's a true story. When I was in college, I had to make sure I was home by 4:30 every day to make sure I caught Pinky in the Brain.
Hey, you know what though? I introduced my daughter to Pinky in the Brain, so by all means, like I'm right with you on that.
I'm talking about, I planned my schedule around. It was the whole Tiny Toon joint. As a 21-year-old, Casey. Niggas ain't know. I would come home. I mean, I would just dip off to the yard for a second. Hey, I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? Go in the house.
Pinky in the Brain, huh?
Watch Pinky in the Brain. Yeah, so like, that's my shit. My bad.
Lions or Tigers?
Lions, man. King of the jungle, man.
Yeah.
Favorite podcast?
Yours.
3 counts,
we
buddy.
We already know. Stay right there.
Come on, man. You only gotta ask that.
All right. Nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
We need to get Postal on here, man. Get G Postal out here one time with you.
Postal's been a guest on here. I'm surprised he didn't tell y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, he has, you know.
Yeah. I know TJP's been on here too, right?
Mm-hmm. TJP's been on here.
Yeah, I'd like to see one of those guys.
Hey, go after Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I would love to have Samoa Joe. It's gonna cost me a pretty penny to bring him on the show, but
it might not. Never know till you ask. Whole time might. It's COVID season still. Dudes just trying to get their name relevant, so you never know.
Right. All right. So last but not least, my favorite question to ask every person that comes on this show. I think I've asked you guys before, but we're gonna do it again. Favorite curse word?
Motherfucker.
I think I was about to say shit, but I think it's the F word. Fuck.
It's gotta
be. That's my word.
That's what I tell people all the time. I was like, yo, it's the best word to use. You can use it for literally everything.
Yeah, literally.
But that is the 10 count questions there, guys. So thank you guys for playing along. But the last thing I need from you guys is to let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
I'm going to go first. You can find us at C3Wrestling.com or on Instagram, C3 Wrestling. You can hit me directly at Casino Haze, Haze, on Instagram. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at what is my at Rich Fingers, and Twitter at AOF Music. Facebook, well, I don't really accept too many people up there, but if you seem to be related to Cliff, you can look up Richard Thompson. That's me.
C3W.
Also C3W on Facebook. Yeah,
just C3W on Facebook or C3W Live on Twitter.
And
we got merch. We got crazy merch coming out.
Hold up. One thing we can't forget. I'm glad you said that. We've been asked a lot by a lot of people that's been trying to invest, people that's been trying to just help out, give to the C3K is fine. Just help out, period. So what we did, instead of just letting people just donate money, we are raising $10,000. We got a limited edition hat made. It's we only got 100 of them made. We merged with a company called I'm So DC. Shout out to Francis and I'm So DC. They're one of the hottest design companies in Washington, DC. But it's the hottest. The hottest. Only 100 of these commemorative bucket hats being made. You give a $100 donation, you receive a commemorative bucket hat. That's how you can give. We're raising $10,000. We'll let you know how to get it. But it's a $100 donation. You get one if it's only 100 that'll ever be made in life. Has a C3W patch. You'll see them by the time it's out. It'll be floating right here across the screen so you can see it. All right?
I think we might even sign those. What you think, dog?
Yeah, you can autograph. I'm telling you, they collect pieces, man. Only 100 will ever be made. With a $100 donation, you'll get one that's a token of our appreciation and all the kids that we help with our C3W Kids Foundation. And you can write the $100 off.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Can't beat that. Mm-hmm. Can't beat it.
Not at all. But that is it, gentlemen. Thank you again for coming on our show. And like I said, this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller. And of course, it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So with C3W entering, you see him here, Casino Haze, Richie Fingers, the men of C3W, and you guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you just wait until this outro, and then you just check out the next episode that's going to be on.
It is. It is.
Peace.
Yeah.
What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3 Count Pod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3 Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3 Count Podcast also has merchandise. At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3 Count Pod. please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So show us some support, please.